The dawn smelled of oil and rust. When LARA Azevedo passed through the gates of CAU Base, Urban Action Command, the world was still dark blue, and the searchlights swept across the yard like lost beacons. She entered through the side door of the armory, where her file read, Recruit, Weapon Assembly and Disassembly. It was supposed to be anonymous, a technician among shelves. But Destiny doesn't ask for permission when it decides to salute. And that morning, Destiny opened the door. "Azevedo, you're the one from the Precision Mechanics School?" asked Sergeant Valenza, rough voice, kind eyes. "Yes, sir." "Then welcome to the heart that makes the rest of the body work." The heart smelled like solvent. On the benches, pistols, rifles, bolts, springs, pins, and plates danced in exploded diagrams. LARA pulled on her gloves, tied her hair back, and breathed in. For years she had taken things apart to understand why they failed. Sometimes she took people apart too. In the mess hall, chatter always found a target. "Grease Hands is here," laughed Corporal Risotto, tapping his fork on the plate. "Gonna stain the parade uniforms?" She ignored it. Her mother, a factory worker, had taught her, "Tools speak for you." But laughter became habit, oil on her seat, notes on her door, workshops outside. Abuse wasn't always shouting. Sometimes it was a whisper, and whispers cut deeper. During the first week on the shooting range, LARA requested to inspect an M4 that kept jamming. Risotto laughed. "You gonna teach the rifle to shoot, Grease Hands?" "I'll teach you to read the manual," she replied calmly. On the line, she aimed at 100 meters, exhaled, let the world shrink between the sights. 5 shots, 5 holes in the same spot. Valenza whistled softly. "Write it down, Corporal. If that rifle fails, it's not her fault." One rainy Friday, Destiny knocked again. A convoy was ready to depart when a Scar L jammed. "We'll be late," a soldier muttered. "Give it here," said LARA. She removed the mag, checked the extractor, swapped a deformed feed lip, tested dummy rounds. 60 seconds. Standard. The convoy rolled on time. The radio crackled with Valenza's approval. Hearts beating. Sunday brought an urban exercise with mixed teams. LARA was assigned to armory support, and, if time allowed, to test as a designated marksman. Time allowed. On top of a water tower, crosswind 9 o'clock, 6 knots. She compensated, 5th rung as reference, 350 meters. Gentle trigger touch. Steel rang. Someone murmured on the radio, "Damn, Grease Hands." The nickname began to taste different. Things changed slowly, until they changed all at once. Captain Dantas summoned her. "Why didn't you enroll in the internal DM course? Your shooting records aren't rumors." "Because my badge says armory, sir. And some think dirty hands don't go with clean scopes." "Then let's dirty the scopes. You've got 3 weeks." She trained like she was already late. Wind study, mirage reading, Coriolis drift, ballistic tables memorized. Slept with notes in her arms. At the range, Valenza timed her. Identify, calculate, communicate, shoot, relocate. Repetition became prayer. From the corridor, Risotto watched, the look of a man realizing he'd bet against the wrong horse. The real mission came before the diploma. Operation Turnstile. A paramedic kidnapped. Hostiles barricaded in a building. Hostage on the 2nd floor, sentry on the roof, curtain moving on the 3rd. Team Alpha would breach. LARA, still support, was called by Dantas. "We need a clean shot on the lookout. Without him, Alpha climbs." On the adjacent rooftop, she assembled her rifle like an altar. Checked mount torque, level bubble, 0, parallax, sling, breathing. The wind coiled like a lazy snake. "Alpha ready. 2 minutes." The lookout scanned the horizon, seeing nothing. Power is often being invisible and inevitable at once. "Wind 4 knots, 10 o'clock, drop point 4 mil. Confirmed," she whispered. Her body became a single line between breath and steel. On the diaphragm's pause, the shot broke. The lookout fell like a silent switch. 40 seconds later, Alpha stormed in. The hostage walked out crying, shaking. The base erupted like rain on tin roofs, relief louder than joy. But victory always invites scrutiny. An inquiry followed. Unauthorized personnel in combat role. Dantas took the heat. Valenza defended her skill. Risotto joked again. Lucky, grease hands. Then someone leaked the urban exercise video, the water tower scene. 5 perfect hits. Luck on replay became method. The whispers went quiet. In the auditorium, Lara finally spoke openly. I'm not a miracle. I'm procedure and training. I don't want glory, I want standards. A weapon is precise when it's cared for. A shooter is constant when they respect their weapon. They're halves of one thing. Silence, then applause that meant understanding. Her proposal became real. A small lab, 2 desks, 1 whiteboard. Integrated precision cycle, torque checklists, stock inspection, extractor tests, headspace verification, and shooting logs tied to climate. 3 weeks later, weapon failures dropped 60%. In 2 months, 3 new DMs certified, and the one was Corporal Risotto. Graduation morning had clean wind. Dantas handed her a patch, a heart split by a scope line. You gave a name to something that always existed. Now the base can see it. Lara looked at it, thought of her mother, the mechanic shop, the grease-stained hands that people once mocked. The patch gleamed quietly, stitched right above her heart. But a 40-minute story doesn't end at graduation. One night, alarms screamed, Operation Overpass, a high-risk convoy under sniper threat, 3 suspected shooter nests. Lara deployed to a telecom tower, 780 meters to target 3. Wind broken, humidity high. Shadows danced to deceive. She opened her waterproof notebook, scribbled drift ratios, memorized click values. Risotto anchored point 2, Valenza commanded from HQ, Dantas held timing. A flash on building 1, hold over 9/10 left, 6/10 down, short exhale. The target folded. Point 1 silent. Another glint. Building 3. She waited. When it repeated, she harvested the moment. The convoy crossed untouched. No cheers. Quiet pats on the back. Good work, grease hands. On her report she wrote, nothing beyond procedure. At the bottom, a small drawing of a heart divided by a scope. The base stopped laughing at oil stains. Officers asked her about extractor fatigue and spring cycles. Mechanics met marksmen. The machine saw itself whole. Months later, her mother visited, watched her daughter prone behind a rifle, serene. You still take things apart to see why they fail? I take them apart and put them back together, Mom. Now with help. Risotto approached. I said a lot of crap. And you fixed a lot of rifles, she smiled. Here we repay debts by working. The nickname stayed, but now it was a badge of honor. At a seminar, Lara carried no medals, only tools and notes. Precision isn't secret talent, she told the audience. It's respect, method, and repetition, and sometimes grease on your hands. Someone asked, what do you do when they laugh at you? Check the torque and stick to the plan. On a final night patrol, she heard new recruits running, saw her old reflection in them. No redemption, just work. The click of a scope, smell of oil, trust between hands. The radio called her code name. Heart? Steady. She entered the dark quietly. The girl who once came to assemble weapons now assembled precision itself. Grease on her hands, clarity in her aim. That's how Sergeant Lara Azevedo of the CAU learned what it truly meant to hit the mark.